Have you started learning a language with one of the more popular language apps, but there's something that you don't like about it and you don't know what else to do? In this video, I'm going to address 7 of the most popular language apps on the market and give you some alternatives to maybe make your experience a little better. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video all about language learning tips that will actually help you learn a language. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Jamie. I'm a language coach and my specialty is helping stuck online language learners get past their obstacles and truly enjoy the process of learning a language. First app is the most popular probably in the world, and that's Duolingo. Duolingo is very accessible, very fun, gets you addicted, makes you have fun. But if you get addicted to the streak and you just end up going through the same lessons over and over and over again and not learning anything, then you need something else. So if you love the fun of Duolingo, but you want to feel like you're making more progress than just keeping up a streak, I would recommend HeyLingo. HeyLingo is a very fun, very gamified app and website that teaches you some simple phrases, some usable sentences, things like that in a way that really is just really fun and really enjoyable. While HeyLingo does offer you streaks and daily notifications and some of that really like surface level gamification kind of stuff, it goes way beyond the surface level and provides you with much more than just beginner phrases and stupid sayings like the bear eats the apple. It goes into intermediate phrases and things that will really actually help you feel like you're making progress. Instead of just going through the same first lesson over and over again just to keep your streak up, with HeyLingo, you're a lot more likely to actually actively learn something and not just obsess over that little number. Another of the most popular apps there are is Anki, and I know Anki has a hugely passionate, stubborn community, but it ain't perfect, right? The biggest problem with Anki is that it's really overwhelming and not easy to use at all. It comes with a really steep learning curve, and if that learning curve is stopping you from using it just because it's overwhelming and you want something a little bit easier to use, you are not alone. And that is why I would recommend Quizlet. Quizlet has a lot of similar features, like it's really flexible. They offer all sorts of flashcard decks on Quizlet, and then you can also make your own using an Excel sheet, just like with Anki. But it's a lot more user-friendly, it's a lot more enjoyable, it's a lot more modern. Just like Anki, Quizlet isn't meant necessarily specifically for language learners, but it's also so much easier to use. You can create flashcards with audio, imagery, sentences. You can change it up so that you're not just, doing flashcards like, oh, here's the word and here's the translation, and you're writing it out and all sorts of stuff with active language skills that are really awesome, and I love that about Anki, but it is so unfortunate to use. Quizlet is much more modern and much more okay for the less technologically savvy of language learners. The third of the most popular language apps that I'm going to recommend an alternative for is HelloTalk/Tandem. If you're not familiar with Tandem or HelloTalk, they're both free mobile apps that you can use to connect with native speakers to have language exchanges where you have a conversation, you share your native language, they share your native language, and you're learning each other's target language. While these are excellent apps, it can be a little awkward and uncomfortable to have actual conversations. So they're texting apps, and I believe with both of them you can also send voice notes. But if you want to be able to speak the language, if you want to practice speaking the language, then you need to actually speak. Because both Tandem and HelloTalk are both text focused, it can be a little uncomfortable to ask somebody to have a video chat with you. If you really want a intentionally focused speaking verbal conversation for free in a language exchange, I would recommend Lingvist. Lingvist is primarily a language exchange app via video chat. So if you log on to Lingvist, the first thing that's going to do is it's going to try to connect you in a video chat with somebody who speaks your target language natively. This is awesome because not only is it more modern, but it also, like I said, actively gets you speaking more and helps you to improve your listening as well. Texting a language exchange partner, while that's not a bad thing, it doesn't necessarily help with speaking or listening. A conversation is the best way to do that, and I really recommend Lingvist over Tandem and HelloTalk if that's what you're looking for. I mean, yes, Tandem and HelloTalk do offer video chats, but like I said, it can be a little awkward to go into a texting app and ask for video chat. It can be weird. What do you like and not like about the resources that you're using? I'd really love to know. Let me know in the comment section below. The next popular language app that I'm going to talk about is Rosetta Stone. Rosetta Stone has been on the market forever, longer than most language learning apps, and it's for a good reason. Rosetta Stone is really good at hammering on the basics and getting you to use the language with all 4 of the language skills, which is awesome. But if your priority above all else is to speak the language, there's a better alternative. Speechling is a really fun app and website that really focuses on speaking. They have a bunch of prompts from total beginner to freestyle conversations, so you can practice saying whatever it is that you want. Plus, it's a totally safe atmosphere because all you're doing is you're recording your speech and then you're sending it to a native speaker to critique your pronunciation. So you don't have to worry about getting judged by a language exchange partner or putting it on the internet somewhere. It's just you and the native speaker, the professional tutor, who is going to respond and let you know, was your pronunciation good? Is there anything that you can work on? And then if there is something that you can work on, then they're going to send you an audio back of how you should be saying the thing. It is much more focused on speaking, and I love that about Speechling. Next up is Drops. Drops is a super popular language app that provides you with a bunch of different categories of vocabulary and then teaches you that vocabulary with icons and really pretty colors. Drops is a really beautiful app for sure, and it can be a really fun way to learn vocabulary, but the main issue that I have with Drops is that it doesn't teach vocabulary in context. While it doesn't teach translations specifically, it does teach you to recognize a certain icon and then think of the word, which is fine, which is okay, but I always say that context is king. For an alternative to Drops, I would suggest Lingvist. Lingvist is also a really beautiful app, but it gives you all its new vocabulary within the context of sentences. You'll generally get a sentence with a fill in the blank, and you'll have to fill in the blank with the vocabulary that belongs in there. This is a much more natural way to learn new vocabulary because it's based on concepts and sentences and thoughts and phrases and not just an image, no matter how beautiful that image is. And not only does Lingvist have a collection of beginner words and phrases all the way up to intermediate advanced, but you can also use Lingvist to create your own vocabulary list, which Drops doesn't allow you to do. So not only does Lingvist provide you a more efficient, effective way to learn new vocabulary, but it's a lot more flexible as well. Finally, let's talk about Pimsleur. Pimsleur is a really old-fashioned resource that can be effective for a lot of things. Specifically, Pimsleur is really great for auditory learners, so people who love to learn by listening. So if you're like a podcast kind of person and you like to just listen to music or podcasts or audiobooks as you drive, for example, then Pimsleur might be a really great idea. However, Pimsleur can be a little old-fashioned, and if you want a more modern approach to language learning as well as a little bit more flexibility, like, you want to just be able to sit on your lunch break and play with your language and learn a little bit, even if you're not, full on listening, then Glossika might be a great idea for you. Glossika offers you the ability to do that hands-free learning. It's not the same as it's not an audio CD, but it does provide hands-free learning, but it also provides all sorts of other options for learning the language in a way that makes you happy. Glossika is also growing all the time and updating its systems all the time, so it's a lot more modern and therefore a lot more engaging than Pimsleur might be. In this video, I've talked about a lot of different apps, none of which are better or worse or good or bad. These are just different options there are out there. So how do you know if you're using the right one for you? It's a really, really tough decision to make sometimes, and fortunately, it's something that I'm really good at helping language learners answer. If you want to learn how I do that, click the link below in my description for my free training on how I help my clients to get past their language learning obstacles and really understand what they're looking for precisely in their language learning goals. If you like this video, watch this video next, because I think it's really going to help you. In next week's video, where I'm going to talk about apps that help you specifically with vocabulary and giving you new vocabulary every single day with great SRS, which I will talk about in the video, and all sorts of stuff that I think you're really gonna love. Make sure you hit the bell for that. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.